What's going on, guys? My name is Jake. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're here for part 14 of the Iceman returns, and today we have got Japan and Korea. Now I apologise for this coming out a little bit later than 12, no not 12, what's talking about, than 6, but it's just couldn't get done. And as you can see, Lewis Hamilton got palm. Mercedes a very good qualifying, but now we have 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go, and you can see Kimi gets a fairly decent start. And now we're back now using half his curves. It looks like Rosberg and Schumacher, and it looks like Rosberg and Hamilton can go head-to-head in the first corner, and it's like Hamilton's just got it, and Raikkonen now goes at the inside of Nico Rosberg, gets that pass done, and coming through the left-hander, Raikkonen is very, very close to Hamilton, and nothing actually comes of that, and then Raikkonen just walks out, and that leaves Rosberg, and that leaves him vulnerable to Rosberg, as he tries to go around the outside, and Rosberg just runs out of road and loses places, I believe, or he might have stayed in third, I'm not entirely sure. But now coming on to lap 7, nothing really happened. Hamilton, you can see Hamilton made it, so Raikkonen had about a 15-second lead, and the pit lane is about 20 seconds. So by that calculation, Raikkonen should be about, well actually no, Hamilton was only 3 seconds behind. So Raikkonen should be about 17 seconds behind Hamilton, which is a very big gap. But Hamilton was just unstoppable this weekend. Pole 3 was fastest in practice, fastest in Q1, Q2 and Q3. And then in the race he was also fastest. And Raikkonen had a very good qualifying in 4th, but he wasn't very fast in the race for an unknown reason. But he spins, actually now coming out of the pits on cold tyres, lap 8, and he's actually still maintained 2nd. But Rosberg is now looking to get past, but he can't do that. But Raikkonen this weekend just wasn't really in the groove. He just didn't really, he just couldn't find pace on the track, especially in the race. Qualifying it was a different story. But now, as you can see, Raikkonen is still defending from Nico Rosberg, and he's now 17.9 seconds behind Hamilton. And Raikkonen was doing quite well. He was just defending from Rosberg at this stage and just trying to carry on going. And now, as we move on to lap 9, you can see that Raikkonen locks up his right front and just couldn't get the car slowed down. That meant he went in the gravel and actually dropped down to 7th place as Nico Rosberg goes past, 1 place of his teammate Roman Grosjean. And Raikkonen decided that, well, Raikkonen wasn't going to take this line down. He decided that he was going to attack Nico Rosberg. He didn't think that he could pass McLaren, because McLaren is the quickest car this season, and he's got Grosjean behind him. But coming through spoon curve now and onto this long straight, what was quite surprising is Sebastian Vettel, how badly Sebastian Vettel wasn't doing, because he is a specialist at this track. And now as we're coming through 130R, Raikkonen gets very close and he goes to the outside here at the chicane, a corner that Raikkonen hasn't really had the best luck at this weekend, but he does get the pass done and moves up into 6th place. But it looks like Hulkenberg has a good run, and it looks like he's going to come back at Kimi on the straight with DRS, and you'll see the proximity error now, and Hulkenberg pulls to the right, but then he backs out as it's too risky move, and Raikkonen is up in P6. Now coming on to lap 12, Raikkonen doesn't get the best exit off the chicane. As I said, it's not been one of his favourite corners, and now it looks like Hulkenberg is going to just fly past with the DRS as he does, and it looks like Grosjean's actually going to have a go, but Grosjean backs out of it. No, it's Kobayashi actually, sorry. Kobayashi backs out of it. But Hulkenberg has got 6th place off Kimi Raikkonen, and now it's on the final lap, and chasing him, Raikkonen, it's a corner cut, but then it goes from bad to worse, and it's disaster as Raikkonen goes back into the gravel with another mistake. Luckily he still maintains in P10, so at this stage he is still gaining a point, which is good for it, which is better than nothing for his championship tally. But what was quite surprising is Sebastian Vettel was in 11th place, so that was quite surprising. But now just coming around, you can see Pastor Maldonado is now in 9th actually, as now we're coming on to the final lap, and you can see that Raikkonen finished the line cross the line in 10th, so obviously not the best. He has obviously, of course, not lost 6 places from his starting position, which is not what you want. But now you can see the race results on your screen. Felipe Massa finished in 15th. Lewis Hamilton won the race, followed by Tim Mercedes, Michael Schumacher and Nico Rosberg, doing a fantastic job. Fernando Alonso finishing 4th, with Jensen Button in 5th and Nico Rosberg in 6th. 7th was Kimi Kobayashi, followed by Roman Grosjean and Pastor Maldonado. Kimi Raikkonen rounds out the top 10, while Sebastian Vettel just missed out on the points. Now looking at the Drivers' Championship, you see Lewis Hamilton now leads the way ahead of Jenson Button, overtaking Button there once again. Alonso's in 3rd, Webber is in 4th, and Raikkonen is in 5th, with Sebastian Vettel and Roman Grosjean now tying on points. 8th was Sergio Perez, with the 2 Mercedes of Michael Schumacher and Nico Rosberg rounding out the top 10 on 72 and 54 points. Now as we go into the Constructors' Championship, you see McLaren lead the way ahead of Red Bull and Lotus, with Ferrari in 4th. Sauber are in 5th, and Mercedes with 7th and 8th being occupied by Williams and Force India, with Soros in 9th. And the team that scored Marissa Caterham and HT are still the normal suspects. But now let's go on to the Korean Grand Prix. So here we are on the grid in Korea. You can see Lewis Hamilton got pole and Kimi Raikkonen qualified in 2nd. He put in a fantastic lap. And Roman Grosjean qualified in 7th. And now on the grid you can see that the top 3 is Lewis Hamilton, Kimi Raikkonen and Mark Webber in qualifying, as now they are revving up to 5 red lights. Raikkonen feels he can win this race, as obviously he's qualified 2nd, and it's lights out and away we go, and Hamilton actually gets a bad start and Raikkonen just gets a very good start and moves up into the lead. And I believe now coming onto the straight that Lewis Hamilton's actually dropped down to 3rd. So right now it's Raikkonen from Webber and Hamilton, and it's Hamilton's dropped from pole 2 places at the beginning of this race, and Raikkonen leads. So Raikkonen's had a very good start, and now I feel he just wants to control this race. As now we're moving on to lap 6, Raikkonen has just controlled this race. Hamilton's moved back into 2nd place as Raikkonen now peels off into the pits. So it's been going pretty well for Kimi. He's just been leading the race and just taking it how it comes, as now he pulls into the pit box and on go the prime tyres, and it is a 3.5 second pit stop as Raikkonen gets away, and it looks like he will rejoin, I believe, in 5th or 6th place. Looks like it's going to be no 6th, and so Raikkonen rejoins in 6th, 1 place behind Sergio Perez and in front of Jenson Button, and Raikkonen goes to go through to the rich mix now just to try and get his lead back, as he is in that 1st place. Now coming through to start lap 8, you can see now he moves up into 2nd place. It's going to be close between Hamilton and Raikkonen, and Hamilton actually got it as Raikkonen makes a slight lock up, but Kimi now has just got to try and hunt down Hamilton. Raikkonen has been very, very quick down this straight all weekend, and he's ultimately been the quickest down this straight all weekend, which means he should, in theory, be able to catch Hamilton and pass him easily. But coming into the hairpin after the long straight, Raikkonen thinks better of it as he loses back end, but he felt better of it because it would have been a very risky move. And now on the first lap, on the 9th lap, sorry, the first gear corner, very close at the first corner, as now Raikkonen will have the DRS coming onto this straight, and he's using all his curves. He's already got rich mixture as well, and he's up into 7th gear now with the DRS rich fuel mixture, and now it goes back down to standard, but it goes at the inside of Lewis Hamilton, and it's a very, very risky move. There's slight contact, I believe, wheel to contact, but then Raikkonen moves up into the lead, and now he just wants to control the race once again. But now as we are coming on to lap 10, the very next lap at the first corner, Raikkonen takes it very, very nicely, but then he loses back end, and that leaves Hamilton to take the lead, and Jenson Button is now on Raikkonen's tail, and now Raikkonen, being the hunter, has now become hunted by Jenson Button, and it looks like Raikkonen has just fended off Jenson Button on lap 10, but now you can see proximity has important, but Raikkonen has just fended off Button as he goes deep, and now his DRS has actually gone offline, so more problems for Kimi Raikkonen in this Korean Grand Prix. As now we are coming through the final set, you can just see how wet it was, which is strange because lap 13 it was completely dry. It was just started to rain. It was pretty much still bone dry, but now you can see after it started to rain, it's just completely wet and very, very hard. They're just all tiptoeing around to the finish line. And the funny thing was though, it was like this in the 3rd sector, but in the 1st sector it was completely dry. So it didn't really matter, so it was really interesting. 1st set completely dry, and no rain, and then this happens in the 3rd set. But Raikkonen crossed the line 2nd. He did a good thing. He held where he qualified, so he obviously had the pace this weekend. He maybe could have been a bit quicker, but that was just where things go. Now you can see the race results. Lewis Hamilton won the race, Kimi Raikkonen in second, and Jensen in third. So Raikkonen did split the two McLarens. Mark Webber finished in fourth, followed by Fernando Alonso and Roman Grosjean. The two Mercedes on Michael Schumacher and Nico Rosberg occupy 7th and 8th, with 9th Sebastian Vettel, and then rounding out the points is Sergio Perez in 10th. And just missing out the points is Kimi Kobayashi, Sergio Perez's teammate. And now we go on to the driver's stand. So you see Lewis Hamilton now extends the lead over Jensen, and Fernando Alonso is in third, while Raikkonen has moved ahead of Mark Webber now by 1 point and is in fourth. And Roman Grosjean's moved ahead of Sebastian Vettel to 6th, and then 8th is Sergio Perez, and rounding out the top 10 is Michael Schumacher and Nico Rosberg. Now to Constructors' Championship, McLaren lead the way, and now ahead of Lotus now, who have overtaken Red Bull, as Ferrari remain in 4th, and Mercedes have overtaken Sauber to occupy 5th. 7th is Williams, 8th Force India, and 9th is Toro Rosso. Still, the teams suing has got on Marussia, Caterham and HRT. That's from me. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big like, comment down below your thoughts, subscribe if you are new for weekly F1 content. You can follow me on Twitter at @Pedro_. As always, there is a link to that down in the description. If you want to skip out the freedom, then there's also a link to that down in the description, and all the music used in this video is also down in the description. And I will see you next time.